Alright, this is going to be a video on how to solve Pseudo V for Pyraminx. I'll start off with the beginner method, and then I'll go into some advanced tips for it, and then I'll do some examples. So, if you don't know what a Pseudo V is, you should know at least what a pseudo block on 3x3 is. So what a Pseudo V looks like is you have a bar here. You might have something like this. This is just one kind. And you solve the Pseudo V, and then you'll have one move to solve the rest of the Pyraminx, sometimes with AUF. So some different kinds of Pseudo V can be like this, where you can solve it a B move away, an R or R prime move away, and then an L and L prime move away. And then there's some more advanced Pseudo Vs where you can solve it more than one move away, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Okay, so in this case, we have a green Pseudo V, and the first step of recognizing the Pseudo V is to look at the piece that goes at the bottom between this green-blue center, and obviously it's the green-blue edge. And you want to look at the bottom piece, which is blue. And since this is the green V and the blue center is on the green side, you want to imagine that this blue sticker is actually green. And this doesn't really matter, but you can imagine that since it's the green on the red side, you can imagine that it's red if you want to. But you don't really need to, because this is the only sticker that's important. So the next step is to find the piece that goes between the red-green center, which is the red-green edge, and the red-green edge is right here. And now you want to look at what side this red center is on. It is on the blue side, which you can tell by this sticker right here. And you want to find the side that this green center is on, which is on the red side. You can tell by this center right here. So now that you know that, you want to imagine that this red sticker is blue and this green sticker is red, since the red center is on the blue side and the green center is on the red side. So now that you know that, you can go ahead with imagining everything else like it's the normal V, which in this case, you might recognize that it is this case on a normal V that you can solve like this. And you can do the same thing here. And then you just have to do one more move to solve the V. So once you get a V that kind of looks like this, what you want to do first is look at what piece should go here. So that's the yellow-blue, and more specifically, you just need to look at the blue, because that's going to be the piece that you want on the bottom, kind of like when you're solving L40. So you have that here. So you see that piece is right here, and this blue has to go here. So kind of imagine that this blue is actually the yellow that needs to go here. This doesn't really matter. And then you want to find the piece that's supposed to go between these two centers, and you see that it's the yellow-green. The yellow-green piece is right here. And so now that you know the yellow-green piece is here, look at what side the yellow center is on. It's on the green side, and the green center is on the blue side. So imagine that this yellow sticker is green, and this green sticker is blue. So this is green, this is blue. So now that you know this is a green and this is blue, you know this is this edge is solved, and this edge right here, go ahead with recognizing the rest of L4E. So you might recognize this case. It's this case for L4E, but pseudo V version. So for this case, you would just solve it like that, and you do the same here with a R prime at the end. Okay, so I'll do a lot more examples. So here we have this kind of pseudo V again. You see that first you need to find what piece goes here. It's the blue piece, the blue-yellow piece, which is right here, and the blue piece is right here. So this blue, imagine that it's yellow, and you don't really have to worry about this yellow, but you can imagine if it's green if you want to. So now we need to find the piece that goes between the yellow and green centers. Obviously the yellow and green is right here, and so imagine that this yellow is green because this yellow center is on the green side, and this green center is on the blue side. So imagine this green is blue. So if you have yellow, if this is green and you have green is blue, so this is green, blue, and this blue has to go here. You might recognize this case as this case, where you just do this. Do the same thing here. Just AUF and solve it. Okay, so for this case, we can first start off with finding what piece goes in the bottom. It's the blue-green piece, and you can see here that it's solved. So that means we have our pseudo layer solved. So we're gonna do pseudo layer by layer. So now find the yellow-green edge, which is right here, and the green center is on the blue side. You can tell because this center is solved. I know this center isn't really, but this center is solved, so you can always just look here. And same with this, the yellow is on the green side, and this center is always going to be solved. So now that you know those, you know that the green, you can imagine it as blue, and yellow, you can imagine as green. And so now you know that there's a bar here, the red bar here, and the green bar here, which is this case. So you can just solve it like that. So okay, so in this case, we have our pseudo V off by a B move. So if we are off by a B prime, so if we do a B prime, you can see these two edges are solved. So the edge that goes here is just a typical edge, the blue-yellow. So we don't really have to do anything for that. We just have to find the red-yellow edge, since that's the unsolved center, and that's right here. And the red center is on the green side, and the yellow center is on the red side. So imagine that the red is green, so this red sticker is green, and this yellow sticker is red. So so this piece is solved, and you have the bar here, and you have this piece here. So the way to solve this case is like this. Or some of you may solve it like this. Alright, so for this case, we have a different kind of pseudo V, where it's actually just one move from solving the V, or the layer in this case. But if you hold it from this angle, like this, you can still solve it as a pseudo V to maybe save a rotation. So we can still solve it the same way and recognize it the same way. So first, find the edge that goes between here, the red-green edge, and you see it's right here, and the green center is on bottom, and the green side sticker's right here. Next, you see the yellow-red edge, which is right here, and yellow is on the red side, and red is on the green side. So imagine the yellow as red and the red as green. So this is red and this is green, and this is yellow. So you might recognize this case. It's this case with a normal V, and you solve it like this. So you can go ahead and solve it, and then AUF, and you're done. Alright, so for this example, we have a blue pseudo V, and piece on bottom is the yellow-blue piece, and the yellow-blue piece is right here, and the yellow piece is going on bottom. So you can imagine the yellow as blue if you want to. And now we need to find the red-blue piece, which is right here, and the red sticker, red center, is on the yellow side, and the blue center is on the red side. So you can imagine that this blue is red and this red is yellow, which means it's solved. And you might recognize then that it is this case, which you can solve like this. So we can do the same thing here. Like that. Alright, so for this case, we have a pseudo V that is off by a B prime move. So you have these two edges solved and the front slot open. So we need to solve the piece that goes here, which luckily is just a normal blue-yellow piece, so we don't have to do anything for that. So all we need to find is what colors the red-yellow edge is going to have to be. So in this case, the red-yellow is right here, and the red center is on the green side, and the yellow center is on the red side. So this you want to imagine is green, and this you want to imagine is red. So now you can go ahead and recognize the case, which you may recognize as this case on a normal V, which you can solve like this. Before you do that, you can just like look at it and see how we recognize that the red was supposed to be green and the yellow was supposed to be red, just like how it shows here. So we can solve this the same way, and then just do a B prime move. So for this pseudo V, we have the green, and this green is right here. I mean, it's a one move V, but if you solve it from this side and this move away, it's still a pseudo V, which it can save you a rotation. So recognize it the same way. Find the piece that goes here in the bottom, which is blue, and the blue-yellow piece with the blue center, blue sticker going on bottom. And now find the yellow-green edge, which is right here. And yellow is on the yellow center is on the blue side, and the green center is on the yellow side. So imagine that this yellow is blue and this green is yellow. So now you can recognize the case, which you'll recognize that it's this kind of case, which you can solve like this. You can do the same thing here, and then just do that move which you might see that when you do that, it actually cancels. So like, so you don't have to do that last move there. It cancels 2 moves. Okay, so for the Pseudo V, we have a yellow Pseudo V with this edge solved here. And you can, after we solve it, we're gonna solve it with an R prime. So first step, obviously, is find the piece that goes here, which is the red-yellow edge right here, with the red going on bottom. And then find the piece that goes between here, which is the blue-yellow edge. So the blue center is on the red side, and the yellow center is on the blue side. So imagine that this yellow is blue, and since blue is on red, this blue is red. So since this yellow is blue and this blue is red, you can recognize a case like this as like that, and then solve. Some alternative ways of recognizing Pseudo V is once you find a piece that goes here, and instead of looking at the centers to find what colors this piece should be, you can look at this piece right here, and you can just look at the green. The green is going to be blue, and the yellow is going to be green. You can just think about it like that. So these two pieces and these two. So these two colors and these two colors. So green and blue, and then yellow and green. So green is blue, yellow is green. And then you can, since green is blue and yellow is green, you can recognize that it's this case, like that. But that's a little more advanced, I guess. I mean, not really. But yeah, so that's just another way that you can do it. I don't really think it's faster or slower. It's just preference. If you have a Pseudo V with like a B move like this, and for that second method I showed, instead, what you want to do, since there's 2 pieces on the bottom, you want to find the piece that isn't one of the V color pieces, so that isn't yellow, and do the same thing here. So where blue is red and yellow is blue. So for this piece, blue is red, yellow is blue. And then the piece that goes here, since blue is red, yellow is blue, you can just solve it like that, like that. So another way you can recognize like the one move V's are that you can't really do that method I just showed because it doesn't work as really. So what you can do instead to make it a little faster is you can recognize that blue and green. So blue is the green and yellow is blue, which you can recognize just by looking here instead of here. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but some people, you might prefer it. So since blue is green and yellow is blue with this piece, green, blue, you have the bar here. This piece goes on bottom, like that, and just solve it. Alright, so some advanced-ish tips to kind of make recognizing Pseudo V easier so that you can one-look solutions that aren't just solved Pseudo Vs are when you have like this piece, you can just imagine, you just have to imagine that this blue goes down here, and you can just imagine that the green-yellow piece here is just the green-blue piece, like that. And when you know those two things, there's only one possible case that it can be. Like for this case, for example, you know that it's just like this. So yeah, so you don't always need to know the orientation of a specific piece, because when you know this piece's orientation, there's only one other way that this piece can be oriented. So yeah. And some other things that you might need to know are that you can do more. Like, you can do multiple Pseudo V moves. So like for this, we go like that, and it's off by 2 moves instead of just 1 move. Or like this. This is a Pseudo V because the center is twisted, and you can solve it like with this kind of moves. And there's a bunch of different things you can do. So Pseudo V's with the center twisted, there's tons of options to kind of make it more efficient. Just when you do that 5 move pseudo. So yeah, so some other things are, say you have like this case where you have a Pseudo V like this, but maybe you don't want to, maybe when you solved your V, you end up here. So instead of rotating, you could just do an L move there, and you still have a Pseudo V. So it kind of gives you that flexibility like that, where you can just do a different move. Or if you have a piece here, you can just go like that. You know, it makes it a lot easier to solve efficiently. So yeah, if you have any other questions, just comment. I'll answer them as soon as I can. So yeah.